Hello, my fellow movie fans, and welcome to the new adventures of A Feast of Films Theater with your hosts, Jesse Prosser and Ethan R. Hill.
In Technicolor.
Dennis Nedry.
I feel like I need the computer too. Feels awkward.
Well, because
do with my
you're a
hands.
guest.
Well, that's the thing. Guests don't.
I know. I just don't know what
Mine's
to
for
do with
research,
my hands.
and a lot of times I keep mine closed.
Guests get nothing. You're lucky you got a drink.
That's why we have drinks. And I always just make sure that I don't T-Rex as much as I normally do.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm trying to work on. Like the thing is, I like talking with my hands. I just hate it when I like snap my wrists. I like.
You shouldn't talk with your hands. They're not people.
Oh, shut up! I'll kill you! I'll kill you!
Gives me more love than anyone else, though.
Oh, and
That's not family appropriate. What kind of show are we on? Oh!
I mean, I feel like that.
Why don't we have eyes? What the hell is this?
I mean, we could fix that. Where's the Sharpie?
I feel like showing up to work with eyes on my.
It would actually be on character for you, unfortunately.
Honestly, yeah, people would be like, "Okay, question why?" The best thing about
It's like Joker.
so the best thing about this hand is I always had like
damaged.
I had two characters for this because I had it like this where it was just regular, and then if I did that, I made that the old man face. Like I'm not wrong, right? Like regular face, old man face.
Yes, I'm an old man. Yes, Sonny Jim, what's going on?
Mine always just, I don't know. Mine's like Bruce Campbell. It's got a thick chin.
Yep.
No, that's
Hail to
so.
the king,
So
baby.
the key here is you're tucking your thumb.
Well, because if I don't tuck it, then I don't have as much mobility, whereas if I do tuck it, it's weird.
Yeah, mine's like the complete opposite. I can even use like my index finger as a bit of a tongue if I really want to. Like if I painted everything black except for like this side of my index finger, it would look like a tongue.
Because I pretty much have to separate my thumb from the finger in order to get the kind of movement.
I mean, that's the other way I could do it, but then it looks like it's flat and special.
It's Gene Simmons now.
What?
Feed it a snack.
Oh yeah.
Ah!
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
You'll never get free. Try pulling your finger now.
Who's laughing now?
It's actually every dad learning how to do the pull my finger trick. Oh, it just got stuck in there. Oh.
Ah!
Well, of course.
So you make a mess.
Yeah.
No, it's for the bit.
Of course. Hi, everyone. Welcome to A Feast of Film.
I don't know how much of that is even usable.
Yeah.
Maybe the last bit there.
Maybe. Just
Yeah, we'll
him
see.
feeding his
There's-
hand root beer.
It's not too bad.
No, it slowly consumes me. It's like the snake that eats its own
So
tail.
it's was it?
Whenever I think of that type of snake, I always think of the snake from Beetlejuice.
Like it's called an Ouroboros.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
It's called an Ouroboros, isn't it?
Oh, what?
That's the symbol with
The
snake
symbol
eating
is the
tail.
snake
Yeah.
eating its tail is an Ouroboros.
Yes, not the snake from Beetlejuice.
Also,
It could be.
Also, Jormungandr is supposed to be the reason it wraps around the world and then it's bit its own tail, which is why it's not able to attack. I'm pretty sure that's.
I don't know. I thought it was just World Eater, but
Well, it's because it's sleeping at the bottom of the ocean, but I want to say it's also it's eating, it's bit its own tail and it's stuck like that. I could be wrong. I'm not brushed up on my Norse mythology. I'm waiting for God of War 5.
Get into some archaeology.
does it count as God of War 5 or God of War 2? Like
Or is it God of War 8 because of the spin-offs?
Or
True.
God of War again, because they can't think of a better title.
Gods of War.
Gods of War? It'll become,
God of
unfortunately, like the
Wars?
Fast and Furious.
Yep.
Two gods, two
Two gods,
two
two
wars.
warriors. Warrior no more.
The gods, the wars, and the ugly.
Kratos Drift.
Kratos Drift. No, it'd be.
No, that's got to be a
Spartan.
spin-off.
It'd be Spartan Drift.
It's got to be a spin-off where Kratos isn't in it until like it's the end for a small cameo.
Yeah, it's
That's Loki Drift. Or
Loki
no,
Drift.
what's his actual kid's name?
Atreus.
Atreus Drift. Atreus Drift sort of works.
Well, no, it's
No, because
it's
it could
gotta
be,
be.
it could still be no, it could still be Tokyo Drift, and it's just based in Tokyo mythology,
Yeah, Tokyo mythology.
Japanese mythology.
Tokyo.
It's been a long weekend, guys.
We saw it yesterday.
Yes.
The Tokyo mythology.
Yes.
Walking downtown.
Yes, of course. Fuck.
Did I miss something?
We talked about the weebs.
Oh yeah,
Yes, of course.
Don't know if that's appropriate to say or not.
the anime fans.
Yeah, like I think it's probably fine. We're all. I mean, you and I are anime fans.
You weebs.
Okay, if I was in better shape, I might do something.
I thought you were gonna say if I was in better shape, I'd be an anime fan.
No, like I would
What the
probably
hell?
like do more anime cosplay if I'm being honest. If I was in shape, I'd be like, I'll be this Final Fantasy character this time around. I'm 6'4" and I'm like,
I'm sorry.
yeah, I can do a lot of things.
Trent, nobody in Final Fantasy has an afro.
Several.
Actually,
characters
no,
have-
that's not true.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 13. I mean,
Nope.
I can't remember his name now.
Yeah.
Shaz?
I don't know.
Either way, you're someone's Final Fantasy.
Yes.
Oh.
What about you?
No, I'm gonna die alone. We've discussed this.
I thought that was him.
God damn it.
No, unfortunately, your parents love you too much, so it's not that.
True. I am cared for to a degree.
You are cared for. Ethan is not.
I have root beer.
But yes,
Because real beer is not appropriate.
indeed, we would never drink alcohol on this show.
No.
Not once.
Neither of us would drink alcohol on this show.
Absolutely not. We would certainly never endorse
Any one of our
consumption-
guests drinking
the
alcohol.
consumption of alcohol is not allowed on the show.
Now, cigarettes, on the other hand, everyone should...
Well, we're smoking up.
Yes.
I'm personally 5 marijuanas deep. How about you, Trent?
That's a jump from... That's a jump from cigarettes to weed.
5 marijuanas deep.
5 marijuanas deep.
So many pots, man. You're
wanna-
smoking all the pots.
The question is,
you
though,
want a
are
longer?
you rolling them? Are you bowling them? Are you
Oh,
bonging them?
Oh,
Rolling, bowling, bonging. Yeah, no,
Bowl-
it's smoking a bowl is a thing.
Smoking a bowl is a
No
thing.
one calls it bowling.
I don't.
Is that what the kids are
we're-
called? Hey, Johnny, you want to go bowling?
And that's the translation of you wanna wunga.
You want a wonga?
So it's you wanna
No,
wunga?
Jabba no want a wonga.
You wanna wunga? You want a lawn wunga?
Jabba, played by John Goodman. And Steve Buscemi as fucking
Salacious Crumb.
Salacious Crumb. And then Jeff Bridges is Jeff Bridges is clearly Boba Fett.
I mean, if you want to go off with what Ethan always wants to do, it's Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
No, Jeff Goldblum is
No.
every other character.
No, Jeff Goldblum.
He's off the Twi'leks.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's like it's not too big of a transition between like him posing in Jurassic Park to Slave Leia.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Bikini and all.
Exactly.
I'm surprised no one's photoshopped that bikini onto
Oh,
Jeff
I'm certain
Goldblum.
somebody has.
It probably exists.
I'm not looking for it, but
This is gonna be a weird one, ladies and gentlemen.
what are we here to talk about today?
Oh
Have
well.
we even introduced it? I know you tried earlier. and
No,
then-
we like honestly just
Welcome to the world of tomorrow.
No, we're
Yeah.
gonna introduce you at the end of the show. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh, that was who are you? But yes, we
Quiet,
have,
he signs our checks.
but yes, we have our good friend Trent Asher here.
Hello.
He's
That was.
wow.
We're trying to be friendlier. Hello.
Looks like the charisma train already stopped off a while ago.
Ever had one of those moments wherever it's either in person or not on a camera or whatever? It's like, oh, this is so and so, and you're just like, ah. Like that's what that was. Yeah.
Stand by.
So yeah.
Stand by.
Stand by. So yes, no.
Rolling.
Yes. Hello. Thank you for having me.
You've been hounding us mercilessly
have
for the
been.
last
I have
2
been.
years.
In an
Like,
effort to expand the roster, we've been
brought someone else who's white. At least I normally have a bro.
Yeah, it's true.
yeah, we brought on. Unfortunately, he doesn't have an accent like Ryan.
Yes.
No.
We try to get more exotic guests. We keep trying, but
It's a weird thing to say, man.
Could be exotic.
I
You don't know what I do in my spare
Yeah.
time.
No, that's erotic. Trent.
Oh.
erotic. God damn it!
This is why the podcast with you didn't work the first time.
I didn't even say it though.
No, but you.
I was just saying I could be exotic. I could do things.
What could you do, Trent? Could you belly dance for us? Is that what you're trying to say?
Is that what we're doing here?
The truffle shuffle. I could.
Ooh-wee. There'll be a lot of technical difficulties on this one.
Do the truffle shuffle, Trent.
Please,
please.
I'm not doing the truffle shuffle.
God. Hey, what are you showing me?
If you really want to, you could cut when I said do the truffle shuffle. Technical difficulties.
Yes, easily I could.
Yeah, you get this video taken down. Once when you upload it, I'd be like, no one wants to see that.
How do we get negative views?
I don't.
But yes, we brought our good friend Trent Asher on to talk about a very important part of film that no one talks about, including us,
Absolutely no one.
because
No.
we live it.
Yep.
What's that, Trent? Why are you here?
Locations.
Because that's the most important thing in film, right?
I like to refer to locations as the Batman of film. Everyone thinks that you can't do anything, but reality is you can destroy a film if you really wanted to.
I like how that's why it's the Batman.
Yep.
But like, because isn't that like, okay? Is it real estate or is it film where like the saying of location came from?
I think real estate.
Yeah,
is
it's
that where it
definitely
comes
real
from.
estate.
But I think
But-
it translates to film.
Oh, absolutely.
In a sense, I mean, but like when it comes to locations and when you think about it and where film is going now, and even where it was, you have a lot of like, well, Avengers, any type of Marvel thing coming out. Oh, let's go to this green screen and film what we want, and we'll CGI an airport in behind it. They don't go to an actual airport, try to close it down, and do the scene. In Alberta here, we're still lucky because we do like to do that, and we do have an airport we can go to, and they allow us to film at quite a few times, and we do have other places. But also, how many stupid things do you do where it's like, oh, we could do this exterior of a house, we could build this on stage and just shoot the whole house here, but no, we're going to go and annoy a neighborhood.
Yup.
So
And that's why there's an entire department.
yeah, so as much as locations I think is valuable, I think it's sometimes underused in certain aspects in certain movies, and I think other times they try to use it too much, where it's like, why don't you just make it easier for everyone else?
Oh yeah, there'll be times when, like, whether it's like working on a project or like I'll be hearing about something that a project's in town's doing, and it's just like, why are they doing that? Why wouldn't you just build that in the stage? But then there's also times where it's just like, why the hell did this need to be a soundstage?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if we're going to film, if you're going back to, I don't know when it was filmed, and I'll have to go off of you here for expertise, the Alien, back in the day,
Alien, yeah, of course, yeah.
1979.
79?
Well, filmed in 1978.
Filmed in 1978. So obviously, they wanted it to look as realistic as possible, so they obviously went up into space.
Well, clearly,
And they did that.
Well, even going further back, Stanley Kubrick filmed, 2001: A Space Odyssey in space.
Yes.
He got the budget from NASA.
After he helped them fake the moon landing.
Yes,
Yep.
He actually went to space for that movie.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
They
Facts.
helped him get to space.
Film facts, guys. We wouldn't lie.
But yeah, no, like it is one of those things like nobody really thinks about. It's just like when you look at like the big city block scenes in movies and things like that, it's just like someone had to go to the city, whatever city that is, find the right people to talk to, negotiate contracts, figure out how to lock it up for like different businesses, things like that. Like there's a whole department that deals in that exact business. Like,
And Trent's been in that department for 6 years now.
yeah.
5 years? 6 years?
6 years, I think. 2015, technically, or 2016.
7 years then.
16. No, 2016. Yeah.
So 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What drew you into the world of locations, Trent?
I didn't want to be a grip.
That's fair. That's a good point.
So, like, being honest here, grips, obviously, they make a lot more money than a locations PA does, and same thing with you being a lighting technician.
They
or anything
do?
else. Yeah, sorry.
What am I doing?
You're too weak, unfortunately.
It's true.
But that was the main thing, is I've always worked jobs that were very labor intensive, or like, go be this pack meal, go do this, and I absolutely hated it. So when I did get a couple days as a grip and I was working and doing that stuff, it was like, man, these paychecks are great, but I hate my life. And then I got to do locations, and my very first job in locations was protecting a boulder. It was a fake boulder. It was made out of styrofoam. I was told, stand next to this boulder. Don't let anyone touch the boulder. Don't let anyone sit on the boulder. Don't let anyone sniff or do anything to the boulder of any sort. And I kept everyone away from that boulder. Including the guy who made the boulder. So
Does it help being the size of said boulder?
I was a lot smaller back then. The office has made me fat.
Yeah. but like oftentimes, like, because at this point, like, Ethan and I have both worked locations PA jobs. Sometimes, like, that is your whole day. They'll put you in a spot and say, hey, make sure cars don't park here, and then that is your entire.
Yeah,
And
sometimes
that's actually the worst job, is when it's like, make sure cars don't park here.
Yes.
Because then someone pulls up and you're like, oh, you can't park here, and they're like, I always park here, and you're like, I understand that. It's an inconvenience for this one day only. Please go away.
Could I get you to move 40 feet that way, please?
How dare you inconvenience my life, you insignificant man. Sorry, I really insignificant.
Insignificant. You really had to get that out there.
You know how you guys know me and how sometimes I fuck up words. I really needed not to fuck that word up.
That wasn't like word diarrhea. That was word constipation.
Like, really had trouble.
I was just practicing the playing. I don't know what his name is. Princess Bride.
Wallace Shawn.
yeah,
Inconceivable?
Inconceivable!
Yeah, no, that's his bit. You're Andre the Giant.
You're on to the.
I'm clearly Inigo Montoya.
Yeah.
Where's your? Oh wait, no, you're looking for the man with 6 fingers.
If we do a Halloween episode with the three of us, we definitely have to do the costumes for that.
No, I thought we were doing.
No, you guys need to be the Wet Bandits.
Yeah, we need to. Yeah, the Wet Bandits, and then he could be Macaulay Culkin.
I'm just as cute as he is now.
But that would be for the Christmas episodes.
But then how are you gonna?
That's fair, actually. That's
how are
fair.
you gonna be Bob the Builder as a vampire?
That's why it has to. There's so many costumes.
Do a whole Halloween.
You're
month.
just we're gonna have quick changes for you on that episode.
Well, that's the thing. Now that we have video, we're obligated to do costumes.
That's what you think.
I mean, I'm gonna do it. Hold me to that, viewer.
Oh, for the episode. I thought
really
you meant like
wanted-
in general.
You could just throw on one of your helmets right now and
Oh yeah,
go to town.
I got the 2 masks up there.
I could do that, but it's a very delicate setup right now, and I don't want to knock shit over. That's fine.
And going back to that being your job, like, you know, getting put on one spot and far away from everybody, it really sucks when that's all that happens to you for an extended period of time on repeat. Anytime they need someone to go far away. It's great.
He's looking at you, Sam.
Sam doesn't watch the show.
You're not wrong.
Hi, Devin. We know you watch.
He has better things to do. What about Ryan? He was a guest for you guys.
Hi, Ryan.
I think Ryan also watches.
I'm pretty sure Ryan watches.
That's 2 whole people.
Wow. No, all right.
They could be halves.
our-
You never know.
Devin's next on the list.
Yeah, we have to have Devin on.
Yes.
Of course. He's gonna just ramble about supernatural versions.
I mean, actually, going off. That's you know what? No, let's sort of ramble about Supernatural, or in a case, let's just pop on here and let's utilize this location and talk a little bit more about it. But let's mention like one of our favorite films and talk about on-site locations of them.
Yeah, actually, Because there's also no, that's really good.
Like
Actually.
when you think about it, and you
I'm
think
surprised.
You think about the Dark Knight and how those were all filmed in. It wasn't Georgia.
It was
Chicago.
And it's
And
like
it sure
that's who
does
Gotham.
look like Chicago.
That's Gotham. Chicago is Gotham, and I
No,
want
it's
to even...
not.
It's not.
It's
but
too
like,
clean.
let's take a moment there and just think about it. So obviously, like your supernaturals, your sci-fis are out of the list unless it is Supernatural, the show itself, which is all in Vancouver.
Yeah.
But
Which is Vancouver is used as all 50 states.
Vancouver is used as everything, including itself.
But less often as Vancouver. That's the same with
Didn't
Toronto,
Deadpool
though.
use it as Vancouver? No, Deadpool used it as something else.
Yeah,
York.
it was New
New
York,
York,
and that they filmed in Vancouver, but it was
Because
New
they
York.
end up at the X Mansion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which also, the X Mansion is actually in Vancouver.
So the whole show is actually in Vancouver. That's Deadpool 3. That's what it's going to be. Is it's just going to be revealed that it plays. Mutants are from Vancouver.
It was Vancouver.
Mutants are just Canadians.
We are messed up.
Yep.
That's why you're so blue and fuzzy. You need to stay warm in the north. You need to stay warm so you have the hair, and then you are cold so you are blue. That is why mutants are blue and fuzzy. And there we go. Cheers.
Wolverine never left home. Wolverine just won a province over.
Yep. I'm going to Saskatoon.
Oh, hey, guys, I'm here to use my claws and kill things, you know.
Slashy.
Oh, yeah. Shing. Shing.
Shing.
Oh, hey, I am Cyclops. Oh, that's the noise.
But honestly, I know we're kind of joking about it, but honestly, that is something that happens a lot that people may or may not realize is like, oftentimes when you're like looking at a show and it's like, oh, this is in Miami, or like this is taking place in Florida or New York or what have you, oftentimes it's not that city at all, and they're just pretending somewhere else is that city for the sake of like whether it's like cost effectiveness or like whether they want to use certain crews, that kind of thing. So
well, Alberta's been used as Utah, as Montana, as freaking
It's Miami.
as Miami. Yeah.
That's Miami.
It's been used as
You wouldn't expect it, but hey.
nope,
Minnesota.
100%.
Minnesota, yep. I mean...
I'm not sure where Skulls takes place, as it were. But
It's been used as not in this time period.
yeah, but that's a lot. Like, so many westerns get shot here.
A lot of westerns do, and I would say that
Nevada.
a lot of those are probably Nevada, Montana type deal. So
100%.
I haven't worked on too many westerns, funny enough. They're fun though. Like, there's nothing better than doing a locations job where it's like your day today is sitting at the gate. It's like, yes. Although you're isolated from people.
Well,
But
that was
when you don't like people. It's
that
nice.
was me on like a number of occasions when shooting out at Albertina and all that. There was the day where it was. Bless you.
Thank you.
I can't remember whether it was.
Bless him. He didn't watch it this morning. His parents asked him to, and he fell asleep.
I did fall asleep. I admitted that.
You're a bad son.
No, I admitted that to my parents when they asked. I am a good son because I don't lie.
Oh yes, of course.
They don't watch either.
But there was but it's really funny how
It's the
like
one episode they finally watch.
like how like small a world it can be, because like there was our production that was shooting, like we're all out in the like the Albertina area there, and there was our production that was shooting down in the one area but down by the riverbed, and then another shoot I'm pretty sure was a western was shooting the other way, and I'm here and I'm watching I'm watching for transports to come down so I can radio to say, hey, it's cleared for you to go down this hill because it's super narrow and a bit dangerous, especially in like near the winter time. So like I'm there to radio down like, hey, there's a transport coming, but because there's another production that is going this way, oftentimes, and you can't tell with them.
But any transport vehicle is a white vehicle.
Yes.
You don't know who's who. They got to come up to you, and you got to basically be like, "You going this way? Okay, yeah, go ahead."
Yeah,
Like,
but usually if you're the only one in the area, it's fine because obviously it's your guys. But because this other one was like at the same intersection, I'd be like about to signal, and they'd be like, "No, I'm going that way." And like, damn it! It's like, so it was constantly like vehicle coming down. Never mind.
I want to say at some point in that location last year there was 3 shows.
Like, at
in
least
and around.
A little bit. And so at that location exactly, and we won't mention all of them because not all of them have been released. But yeah, there was one shooting down at the hill. The production that we were working on at that time was shooting there, or at least getting ready to shoot there. And then, Skulls was finishing up. And
yeah, it was really funny.
It was
a
a
bit
mess.
chaotic, but funny.
And then,
Because everyone wants the same locations.
well, they're good locations. Like they're private properties. They're isolated. They're great to be on, and they're great people to work with. The people who do own the property, they're really easy to get along with. They understand film, and they just are like, the restrictions, stick to them, and it's great that way. So like, going off of it again, obviously, so Skulls, one that we won't indulge too much into, but you saw some of the places that went to.
Oh yeah.
So going back though to that original question, film that you like.
Like,
Do you know where it was filmed?
well, of course, there's the classic, the rocks that they shoot at in Star Trek that are just outside of
Is that
California.
Nevada?
yeah, like in California. There's this one specific section of the California desert that a lot of the original Star Trek was shot in whenever it was like a deserty planet. And then I think they in Next Gen they go back there a couple times to be like, there's this new planet, but it's like you could totally tell because the rock formations are the same, and it's just
Bill
like
and Ted's Bogus Journey, they went there.
Mm-hmm.
I even think a couple episodes of Twilight Zone was filmed there.
Yeah, no, 100%. There's
discussion. I think they wanted to do Star Wars. There was it, but then they went. I think elsewhere.
For Star Wars, they went to Africa.
Yeah, I think there was discussion though that they're thinking about being there, but then they wanted something different because
I
they
could see
wanted
that.
that truly otherworld look.
well, and that's the fun thing is at the end of the day, with just a little bit of literally with just a bit of imagination,
Set dressing.
set
and
dressing, things like
construction.
that. A wee bit of sky replacement in post nowadays, of course. The same Vancouver forest could be used for 50 different planets in Stargate.
Yes.
So
And also, it's a great scene for. I want to say that's where they did the Twilight movies, where they're running through
Yep.
and shit too.
Yep, forests in Vancouver. They get a lot of use out of those. Oh,
Post link TikTok.
that meme.
Honestly, this is gonna sound like such a cop-out answer for me for favorite locations in film, and I know a lot of it was shot on location, but I know the inside the house wasn't. But The Exorcist, that neighborhood, those streets, that staircase.
Well, because William Peter Blatty, he wrote The Exorcist while living in that area, didn't he?
Yes, I
he
think
had
so.
that specific area in mind when he wrote The Exorcist. So
I think so, and I think most of the stuff. I know the room that Reagan was in was a soundstage.
Mm-hmm.
I know that was a soundstage. I don't know if the bottom floor was a soundstage or if that was location.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of stuff that happens out and around. Even if a lot of stuff with Father Karras and stuff like that, that was out on location.
yeah,
And it's just such a beautiful you can tell when something's built and you can tell when something is real.
Mm-hmm.
Just the feel of it, and I think that's also kind of where the gritty realism in a lot of films around the 60s and 70s started playing in.
Yeah.
Is using more locations and less backlot stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, because there was a real rejection of the Hollywood system and wanting to just bring that more realistic again you look at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, all of that is out on location. They just there was just
They just grabbed a camera and let someone go wild, didn't they?
Yeah.
did Toby Hooper. Yeah, it was crazy as hell working on that movie.
But also on the flip side, to defend backlots, Back to the Future's backlots and backlot usage is amazing.
Oh, of course. And there is something to be said for that that backlot look. It just feels very Hollywood cinematic. It has that feel to it. Just that very precise look to everything. Does that make any sense?
It's polished.
Yeah.
And it's
I usually see it as the classic that American homestead, right? When I think of the backlot and I think of those scenes, specifically I think of, is it Scream 3?
Scream
where
3.
they are actually like running through the soundstage of like the first Scream set or something like that. I think it is.
Yeah, because they rebuild the house and as a stage for
Yeah,
Scream
that's
3.
that's actually one of the weirdest ones for me is that they built like, and maybe this is how it's done, but like the little bit that I've seen inside, they built the entire house like
They
top
can do
to
that.
bottom.
They can do that.
But so in shooting that and shooting the exteriors, what purpose does it serve if you're inside a building?
Just
Like,
control.
And this
Yeah,
is like, but this
'cause
is
at the end of the
pre-green
day-
screen though.
Well, because at the end of the day,
Not
like,
really pre-green screen, pre-good green screen.
because like if you
They do the
build
prints.
if you build the house as opposed to like, are you talking the exterior of the house?
Yeah,
Well, like you can get shots like right in front of the house.
It's all about control. It's about not disturbing a neighborhood. It's not having to worry about wild animals squeaking. Our soundstage isn't the greatest where we are right now.
No.
And it makes
crows sitting on
yeah.
the roof halfway.
Yeah.
and it makes a lot of noise, definitely.
Locations.
But like
Can
when
we
you
do anything
actually
about that crow?
when you actually have
Eat it.
when you have
Feast of
a
Films does
good,
not endorse the cruelty towards animals.
Humans, yes. Animals, no.
But when you are in a controlled setting like that, like they still did what we do now, which is they take a photo of the place, right? Like it's all usually based off of a real area, and they take a photo of it, they put it on a big backdrop, they drop it behind.
Yep.
And they can
Put
light
some,
it.
put
They
some,
can control.
Put some
You can-
trees
Yeah.
back there too. Like,
that shot that you want, that exterior shot that requires the sun to be at the 2:00 position beaming down on the house, you can control that all day for a 12-hour day, so you can get your 56 takes of the person walking up to the house with a pizza.
and like if
So
you
if it's
if you
a-
build the house as opposed to like being on location, you can remove walls, you can remove the roof.
Well, that's when you're going inside, and that's
Yeah.
the advantages there, and it gives you a lot more ability to play with, right? And you want to talk about built places and things like that, you just look at a sitcom,
100%.
and how they're built.
Absolutely.
The invisible wall.
So and that's so specifically if you're looking at a horror film.
This
where
is not a soundstage. How much money do you think we?
I was adding an illusion here.
they don't know what's on that side of the camera.
Really? That's true. Anyway,
They never will.
oh
It's just
my
where you
God.
put in the applause. That
I'm actually going to do that. It's good. I'm going to add a laugh track, all that stuff.
So like when we end tonight, we're gonna end like a talk show, right? Where
isn't that how they show?
We're sorry to Matt Damon. We couldn't get him on the show tonight.
Isn't
We'll try
that how
next
they
week.
did it, like they were doing like a talk show, even though they didn't have an audience.
for who?
Wayne's World.
No, it wasn't a talk show. It was a cable access show.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I thought they did it like there was a talk show. Like they're always
Well, they
addressing
would
an
they
audience, and they would
talk
have-
to the camera.
Yeah,
and
they
all
talked to the
that.
camera. They didn't have an audience until they ended up in the sound stage that looked exactly like Wayne's basement.
Okay.
Drink break.
Oh yeah.
Ba-da-ba-ba.
But I guess that's that is something to be said about film locations. It's something I just thought about. In regards to that, there is literally an entire industry of just like film location tourism. Like there are people who will literally go to like, oh, I've been to the Michael Myers house in all of the movies. Like, oh, I went to down that path where the cabin in Evil Dead used to be, and I've taken pictures out there.
It's just an empty field, but I took photos of that empty field.
Oh, it's
And
like
then Photoshop the building that
well,
was
like
there back
well,
in.
like the cabin literally burnt down a couple of like weeks after they finished filming because
stuff about Evil Dead that I don't know.
yeah, people like because people would like just stay in there like random like homeless people, and they would stay in there. But then, like, apparently somebody burned it down. So it's literally just, like, the chimney is left, basically.
they found remnants of like the demon stuff, and they're like, "Oh, this place."
Oh, God!
I could honestly believe that.
But
One
I
of the
think,
props got left behind. Some
which I think is,
crackhead came in.
like, why in the remake, the cabin gets burnt, too, as kind of, like, a weird little tribute to that. Like, I could see that being a thing. But it's, like, people, like, I mean, the house, like, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house, it's like a bed and breakfast now.
That
but,
is
like,
lovely.
Leatherface just in an apron bringing you food.
But there's like, yeah, because like it'll be people like trying to have breakfast, and then there'll be random weirdos trying to take pictures. Like, oh, that's where the steel door was. It's like, ma'am, excuse me, I'd like to walk. I'm trying to deliver pancakes. So it's like that's something to be said. Like when you get a really good location, and the film like uses it effectively, it can become super iconic, and then it becomes a destination for people to go to.
The entire
And that's tourism.
the entire country of New Zealand after Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
That's actually what I was
That's-
going to mention, because I think the Green Dragon is actually a place now you can go and get breakfast and like
They
stuff.
built one finally after the Hobbit movies.
And I think even the Hobbit holes that were on a guy's private farm, I think they've actually started to create them as like living, like little apartments you can, or not apartments,
Little like basically like Airbnbs.
yeah, that you can rent out.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure on that. I know they had a bunch of facades put back in.
I think there's facades,
after
but
the Hobbit?
I think the guy wants to do that because it's all about tourism. So it's like you can sleep in a Hobbit hole, and then you can go down to the road to the Green Dragon, get yourself a breakfast, and then you can continue on. They'll get your bus tour going, and they'll take you up to Mordor. And
I know they were trying to convince they were trying to convince New Zealand to like keep like Rohan up and stuff like that, and New Zealand's like nope. And then after the movies came out, they're like, we should have done it because they built like the town of Edoras. They built entirely on that hill. Practically, like that was a full.
That's amazing.
That was a full, completely practical set inside and out.
Did they build
and-
Isengard?
No,
Oh,
they tried taking the hobbits. That didn't
Bigoture.
work.
to Isengard.
but they built that, and then like I think they shot there for 2 weeks, and then had to tear it all down.
Yep.
Like it was like months and months and months and months of building.
No, 100%.
And then
Well, the house from Scream I know is an Airbnb, and they've got a whole bunch of stuff there. Like they have the old TV with the VHS player playing Halloween and like just random stuff like that.
now
That is like the unfortunate part, though.
Yeah,
Of film sometimes is what you're mentioning. Like I love it when they can leave the locations, but when they build something they have to tear it down. One of the first shows I worked on, actually no, it was the first show I worked on for locations, Hold the Dark. They built on the backlot here a complete town, which in the show, I don't know if you guys have watched it yet.
I started watching and then like it was really late at night and
It's a weird one. Like it's interesting.
I
but it's
love
weird.
the director's other movies like Blue Ruin and Green Room. I really like those. So like I do want to watch it. I just haven't finished it.
Blue Room and Green Room,
No,
or Blue
Blue
Ruin.
Blue Ruin and Green Room.
It's like, does he have like a series of room films?
Yeah,
that's
it started off with The Room.
Tommy Wiseau.
Secretly. So they built this huge town though, and I remember like going there and being there and seeing it, and I'm like, this is amazing, like this is cool. This is all like this was here before, and the person I was with, my TLM at the time, was like, no, they built this all. I'm like, what? And then like I randomly went into a house. I just picked a house and I went into it, and it's completely dressed inside, and I'm like, oh my god. And she's like, yeah, we haven't even shot in here. And I'm like, there's hunting hooks, there's a gun there, there's deer skin. Why? Well, you never know. Oh wow, like it was just such a eye-opening experience. And then the next time I went back there, I was expecting it still to be up, and it was all torn down, and it's back to a riverbed on the side of the river. And I'm just like, what happened? But that's unfortunately happens a lot of time in film, is they build something and they can't keep it, and it's got to go bye-bye.
Well, because at the end of the day, like oftentimes with stuff like that, they're built to look good, but not necessarily to last. So like,
but then there are those places where they do stay. Look at the
Busted Shoulder.
No, well, yeah, Busted Shoulder, yeah, that place, and also the Boa Vista area.
Right, yeah.
You know, a lot of the stuff in that area was used for, I think, Shanghai Nights is the one.
Shanghai Nights, yeah, or Shanghai Noon, I can't
one of them.
remember which.
And they built the whole western town.
And they just kind of kept
just
it.
left it. So,
and I wish, like, again, talking about Albertina, there's like a whole western town in there that's just like, that stays there and you can rent it. And like, and I wish there was more stuff.
and you too could rent it for your next script.
Could.
Not the right aesthetic.
It's true.
Not for what
have to
what
do
you
some
bring.
rewrites, as it were. but at the end of the day, like I wish there was more stuff like that here, where they like just kind of like have these built locations. But again,
They are.
it's-
They
But the
there's-
problem is, again, half the year we're covered in snow.
And honestly, there is actually a lot of locations that are built here in that state. They just unfortunately are all western towns.
Yes.
See, what someone
Because
needs
again,
to do.
lots of westerns.
Yes.
What someone needs to do is they need to like build a small neighborhood, like of different, like take a neighborhood and have like 3 blocks are 1950s house, 3 blocks are 1960s houses, et cetera, and make it low-income housing that you rent out to people. And then when you need to shoot there, you're like, okay, cool, we're now moving you guys out and putting you in hotels as we shoot in this neighborhood.
You know what? I'd be down for that as long as they made underground parking so that no streets would ever have to be worried about parking. Like,
Yeah, no, that's
go underground, go park your car.
that's the investment. Billionaires, if you're listening, there's a market.
And we got an investment for you.
And honestly, they could start doing that in the area where our studio is. Like, if they just started to build that whole area, bought all those businesses, and just turned that into a massive backlot, like, we could be definitely take
100%.
Hollywood North away from Vancouver.
Yeah,
This
has all been just an elaborate pitch for what we see.
Because if you think about that too,
You know,
if
though,
had-
unfortunately, though, the more jobs we get like that with controlled environments, then the less likely there is jobs for just location PAs.
Oh, I know.
But the thing is, if you have those control blocks that you own, you can do snow removal super easily.
Yes.
So you could shoot all year round and make it look like it's summertime in -20 weather.
So you're telling me that we'll just build sidewalks and streets with the heated pad in it, and all they have to do is hit a switch, and I'll just melt the snow before
I wasn't
we
going
film.
that far. I was thinking special effects would still come in. And...
Again, this is a very elaborate pitch.
Hey,
But,
you know,
I've
dealt with some weird stuff. The weirdest thing I think I've ever dealt with is, oh, we need to melt snow. Let's bring in water while it's -40 out.
still a weird decision on that one, but
I get it for the weather we're in now and what we've recently done with our special effects. I get it for now because it's like, yeah, you melt it, it goes away, and it warms up. But like, no, we were doing that on our other production that was like -40 out, and it's like, yeah, we're just going to spray hot water on it, and then it starts freezing again. They're like, we don't know what's happening. Like, we're spraying it down, and it's freezing over and becoming all snowy again. It's not looking right, and it's like,
well, gee,
I wonder why. Well, you know, we do this all the time in Vancouver. Sorry, I have some bitterness to Vancouver. I do love you, but screw off.
Stop trying to change Alberta.
we'll have to cut that out.
We want a Vancouver billionaire to come here.
No, it was.
I'm bitter towards that city here.
Yeah, but it was that type of mentality. It was this mentality of, oh well, we do this back home, and it's like, well, you're not back home. It's like if I'm in an area and I'm going somewhere else, you got to follow the rules there. It's like traveling. What is it in Tokyo? You're not supposed to, I think, spit on the ground or anything like that.
Well, I don't think you should spit on the ground anywhere. To be
yeah,
fair.
but you can do it here and no one will arrest you. But I want to
You
say,
can get a fine.
Yep.
You can. It's the same thing with
Like,
it falls under the same.
littering.
It falls under the same thing as kind of as urination.
It's public indecency.
It kind of like it's a weird thing, but like no, I'm trying to think about this because if you had 3 streets and 3 avenues per decade, that's like 3 square blocks per thing.
It is probably a lot of.
I am because that is only 3. That's 3 6. So if you did from the 50s to 2000s, that would cover a lot of ground.
it would, especially since like you got to think too of you would be shooting stuff that could be existing in the 2000s, but at a 50s home, because well, the place you're living in is what 70s.
Yeah, I think so. 70s.
I believe
or
so.
80s.
Yeah.
So,
But it's like, and you don't even necessarily have to like make the interiors of them like maybe like a little bit of like the first couple rooms.
no, because he was
Well,
saying it's for low income living, so people can
Oh,
live there
yeah,
at
okay,
a lower
yeah.
price.
Never
But
mind,
it's like
yeah.
with this speculation, like you live here, but if a film crew comes in, you got to get out.
Yeah,
But
it
we'll
We'll
would
put
pay
you
for
in
you.
place, and then
Yeah.
you'll come back when we're
But
done shooting.
it would pay for those properties.
Exactly, and you would actually being the investor, and being the investor of the films, you would technically be making profit off of the people, as well as.
So this is actually screw getting a billionaire. We'll just do this idea. This is a great idea.
We need
The
we
real
need
estate
collateral.
the real
We're
estate
going into
mar-
business for ourselves.
the real estate market is a gold mine if you know how to
The
run it.
merchandise.
Not right now. How's buying a house, Trent?
Slow going.
Womp womp.
He's okay, bud.
It's gonna be all right.
But that to me would be really smart to do, and just like again, the only question would be the underground parking for infrastructure. But even then, that wouldn't be a hard workaround as well if you had a parking lot also adjacent to that.
Yes, I think that, and
Which
parking is the big thing that usually is the affects people the most.
Oh boy, don't we know it.
and you get enough parking to facilitate the people living there, but then you have a second parking lot beside it for circuses, crew parks, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, that's just standard going, especially if it's a place that you're filming at. Like, you gotta have a place, because circuses are huge, especially now with COVID.
100%, yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, that's another thing to consider too. When you're like, when COVID started, a lot of things changed in regards to like how locations have to be run, things like that.
oh, yeah, I mean, again, well, let's break it down here. Let's break it down and actually talk about a little bit of just the location tasks and what location PAs and location managers have to do. So not only are we
I'm
actually
glad I'm finally going to learn what my job is, guys.
Can you censor that out? Can you censor that out?
I mean, I'm gonna have to.
Probably pretty easily.
Yeah, I think it's easy to drag and drop. Anyway,
How about this photo? No. So
yes,
you tired?
yes.
Jesse's a sleepy boy.
So
Oh, that sounds.
I know. On your Sunday, you don't want to be talking about work.
No, it's fine.
So, but going off of it, like, not only are we scouting locations, going to houses, which is literally knocking on someone's door, going, "Hey, I'm with this production. I want to film here. Let me
Slam.
take photos of your house." It's the awkwardest thing, but it's being a salesman, and
Of course,
you can
yeah.
just sit there and sell yourself. Usually, you can.
You
find
want
a
your
place.
house to be in motion pictures, don't you?
Not that far. But also, one thing we got to do is once we find all those, is like Ethan was talking, we got to place our circus, our unit, our trucks at big enough parking lots that can handle the size, which for our current production is about 25,000 square feet of space. So it's like, that's a massive amount of space when you think about it. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm boring.
No, it's fine. I yawn.
no, me too.
I yawn all the time. It's all good. Like legitimately, this is important shit. Like,
I'm just shitting with you, sorry. So, but we got to do that. We got to find work trucks. We got to take away tons of street parking for people in the residential areas of where they're living. We have to find lunchrooms for people, and that's been a big kick to us. Is like, hey, you guys got to sit down, everyone, for a lunch, but they got to be 6 feet apart, and you can't use dividers. And we have to facilitate that, and it's not an easy task at all. Like, especially when you go to small areas in like Bonus, where there's one community hall, maybe there's a church. Like, there's not a lot of stuff there.
there's a library.
There's a library. You can't eat food with books.
Nope.
You can eat the books, but that's a different story.
I mean, I'm sure if you try really hard, you could eat food with books. Spaghetti. Magazines, you could do it. You just scoop it
Oh yeah,
up.
you just like
Scoop it.
Feast of Films does not endorse any cruelty towards books.
so you gotta do that, and then also a huge issue, and you wouldn't think about it, is just dumpsters, garbage bins. Like on Monday, you guys don't have a dumpster because I can't get it out of the location before the location needs to be operational again, and it's in an area of downtown where I can't even use another lot because they don't like film. They're not very film friendly.
And that's something you encounter as well, because not everybody's on board with the film industry.
No, and especially in areas like that where it's parking restrictions and it's tight neighborhoods and it's always busy and stuff like that. Like, yes, they want to support film, I should say, but at the same time, they're like, just logistically, they can't. They're like, yeah, I need this for these people, or I need it for this. So Monday, you guys don't have a dumpster. Tuesday, you don't have a dumpster.
Oh boy.
Wednesday, you will.
Oh boy. What?
So,
No, we won't.
After
might not.
Yeah.
No, we won't.
Yeah, we won't.
We'll be. I was gonna say we'll be the trash and we'll be thrown in a dumpster, but I was like, no.
Trash. Yeah.
So like that's one thing you have to deal with. And then you got the other problems in locations where it's like locations. It is really windy outside. Can you do something about this wind, please?
Yep. I've had to deal with that on many an occasion. But it's like,
Right? Yeah. Go away, wind.
yep.
Like,
No, that all I think about is the one quote from that 70s show. Well, damn, Jackie, I can't control the weather.
can you please say that to someone if they ask you to do something
damn
about
it.
the wind?
Well, damn, I can't control the weather.
But you have that. Clogged toilets are a huge thing, even if it's like on a transport vehicle.
Yep.
Like if it's on one of the trailers, it's like locations. This toilet's clogged. It's like, is it in the building? Well, no, it's on this transport thing. And it's like, it's not us. Go talk to transport.
Yep. That should be a union dispute. I can't unclog that toilet.
I cannot go unclog that toilet because if I break any part of that trailer, then I am not covered because it's not my trailer to take care of.
But what if they were lunch trailers?
The glam and glitz of
We
Hollywood,
technically
ladies and
were
gentlemen.
renting those, so technically those were our trailers.
But
Could you imagine if those lunch trailers had washrooms in it?
Gosh.
You can eat your food and go too.
I wasn't even on set. I would have walked.
But no.
Traffic control.
Yeah, traffic control is another big one.
I like traffic control. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I actually really like traffic control because there's no downsides I find to it.
Well, like
Depends on how fast the cars are coming at you, Trent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you get hit, you're out of work and you're good to go. Like,
I'm a very
Feast
fragile
of Films
boy.
does not condone getting hit by a car.
I'm a very fragile boy, Trent. I like to walk.
But it's like, honestly, for me, it's like, when it comes to traffic control, it really depends. Because, like, obviously, like, if you're, like, in a little section of
if you're like in a cul-de-sac or something, it's
yeah, it's
really
like,
easy.
oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
like,
oh, sorry, you
there's a
can't come
car
down
every,
here.
5 minutes, maybe, like...
Yeah. Obviously, we don't do the big highway stuff or anything like that.
No, of course.
We do, small towns we handle a lot. Like, if you, anything under 50 usually is what we handle. And
Yeah.
it's honestly, I don't know, I enjoy it because even if you do stop a person, even if they're like, I'm late for a very important date, you're just like, I am so sorry to hear that. I really wish I didn't have to be stopping you right now. I am just as angry that I have to hold you here for the next 5 minutes, but let me tell you about my frustration levels for the next 32 seconds, and we'll get you out of here.
And you're good to go.
I don't want to be working here either.
It's what you do. You sympathize with them and
You sympathize with them?
not sympathize.
No, I know what you're...
Synthesize?
I know what you were trying.
Snickers nice.
Snickers?
Snickers.
Snickers.
You want a Snickers?
Oh, you feel better now, sir? Better.
You want some nuggets?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you just have to have a thing of chicken nuggets. Just
No,
drop
apparently we get offered chicken nuggets now. That's the new thing for locations.
What?
No, not all of us.
But no, it's like, you stop someone, you give them a Snickers, and they're usually good to wait. So, unless they're allergic to peanuts, of
That
course.
sounds terrible to give someone a Snickers.
Give someone a Snickers.
Doesn't sound
Hey,
like
driver, you're not like yourself when you're
Can you
hungry.
give them a Mars bar instead? Mars bar sounds better.
You give them a Kit Kat bar.
Have a break
Yeah, take a break.
for the next 5 minutes.
No, legitimately, my usual go-to when I have someone stopped in traffic is just like, hey man, it's gonna be a little bit if you don't mind hanging out with me over here, and they're usually like, oh yeah, that's okay. Like, so you know. What's that sound?
It's his phone.
That's a phone call. I know you don't know what it sounds like to get those.
Ouch. Ah.
But so like I don't know, public's actually pretty easy to deal with. Like they might get grumpy at you, they might whatever, but they're pretty chill.
Yeah.
On set people though, they're anyone who watches, I love you all, but you guys are interesting folks. Hey, I need you to hold up right here. I can't. I gotta keep going. There's a plane coming in. I gotta keep going. What? Like,
But no, there's yeah, no, it's like I've said on many an occasion when it comes to like working in like I think like theater and film in general, like working in the arts, you gotta be a little bit crazy to do it. I think you just gotta be a little bit crazy. And some people are different levels of crazy than others. So it attracts all kinds of different personalities to the well, I wasn't gonna name any names, but
to be fair, he was the toughest person to get out on sets.
you're not wrong.
You were pretty easy.
It's because I don't want to be a part of the corporate machine, man.
he had 6 marijuanas.
I
Yeah.
like money.
It's true. To pay for his marijuana plant.
Money.
Damn it. I insist you share your marijuana cigarette. But no,
I like how at no point have we said a Feast of Films does not endorse smoking.
well, no, marijuana's legal.
It's legal.
I know.
Yeah,
But at no point.
Yeah,
Just don't do it while driving.
Yeah, alcohol apparently we're not cool with, but marijuana is perfectly fine. that's where I draw the line.
You know, you can make your parents really concerned if you put a little hazer here as you're doing these.
Oh, they know what I'm about.
Yeah, when was the last time anybody at this table smoked?
It's been a while.
See?
Although I did say to Tiffany that we should get some edibles when we go up for the wedding. Just have ourselves a roaring good time.
I was gonna...
Woo!
Woo! I mean,
Said,
like,
I'm going up for fun.
like you're going, like, I mean, even driving through the mountains, it could be an entertaining.
No, you don't do it while driving.
no, when
What
you're,
you just said!
no, when you're in the passenger seat.
A Feast of Films does not endorse Jesse Prosser doing any drugs or alcohol of any kind. Period.
Oh boy.
He is gonna be sober for life.
I
now.
gotta be sober for the wedding. I gotta be good at the wedding. But let me tell you, when we go back to our little apartment place
There-
and the kids are asleep, ayo.
They're gonna be
You wanna wong
No,
it?
you don't. You're not wonga
You're-
wonga. You're
you're
going
gonna-
papa.
gonna be going bowling.
Bowling.
I want to go bowling. Oh, this fell off the rails so quickly.
I know we were talking about locations, but this is all to do with locations.
Yeah,
Have
so-
you ever scouted a marijuana farm?
No, but I've
Never scouted anything.
I've been to multiple occasions where somebody has many marijuana plants.
Have you actually?
Yes. Out when I was at, okay, I guess I can't see where I was, but there was a location that I was assigned to where one of the residents had several marijuana plants just chilling in their living room whenever I
Is
went
this
to
on
talk
one
to
of my shows or on a different show?
It was one of your shows, yeah. But yeah, that one, and then recently one of the neighborhoods we went at, one of the other places, because I
Oh,
had
the
that.
neighbors were having a great time.
Oh
at one of
yeah,
our
actually,
neighbors.
no, I remember.
Yep.
Yeah, the one guy. Yeah,
And then there was like one of them like they had this like nice purple light for their plants,
Yes.
and it was very noticeable for
Yes.
our exterior. And I had to go
Oh,
ask them.
that's where that was coming from.
I had to go ask them very kindly to turn the light off. They're like, "Oh yeah, they'll probably be fine for a couple hours." I'm like, "Thank you very much."
you gotta get them nice and big.
Exactly.
It's like I give credit for people who can actually grow marijuana plants. Like you guys have 2 plants upstairs. You're barely keeping alive.
Not marijuana.
No, not.
Just regular
They're
plants.
They're low maintenance,
We-
regular plants that
Low
our friend
ma-
gave us.
That you can't smoke, I assume.
He's like
You can smoke anything.
I mean,
you
fair-
just shouldn't.
our buddy Eric gave us these plants, being like, "Here you go, a happy housewarming. You don't need much light
And
or
one-
water,
One of
and
them's
they'll
already
be fine."
One of
And
them's already dying.
Maybe they're just connected to you because that's how both of you are. You don't need much light or water, and one of you's always dying.
I've just come to realize maybe I shouldn't be put in charge of living things.
Womp. Anyway.
And that's why Ethan's gonna die alone. Not because of my personality or anything.
Oh my god. Anyway.
Self-love, everybody. Self-love.
Self-love. It's important. One must always remain charming.
Well, I'll see you guys later.
God damn it. What next? What's another thing we can talk
Do
about?
you not have marijuana plants upstairs?
Yeah.
I can keep I can throw random things out here, but
Well, we still-
let's take a moment here and let's just ask both of you because again you guys have been location PAing. I know you both want to get into a different department. You're not going to be like me. You're not going to become an assistant location manager or things like that. But
Oh, no.
but what currently would be your favorite like aspect of being a location PA versus your worst aspect of it?
Craft services.
That's for anybody.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, excluding the free food, which is fantastic, by the way.
It is. Thank you, Vanessa.
My
I don't think she watches either.
I don't know. Next thing you know, we're just going to have a Teamster come up to us and be like, "No, I like the way we drive, eh?"
No, Trent doesn't. We are fine with it.
Have you seen me drive?
unfortunately, yes.
I mean, a lot of times I'm under the car when you
Yeah.
drive.
yeah. Where's Ethan today? Oh, got ran over by Trent again.
Why won't he move his
It's
car?
actually not my car. I'm just sitting on you.
Womp womp. Oh, I thought that was your truck.
It's big, white,
It's the moon.
beeps when it backs up.
Oh, God. That's the Trent walking towards set. I thought it was the moon from Majora's Mask. But my favorite part of the job, legitimately, and I think it's like with a lot of because again, you're with the same people for like 14 hours a day, generally speaking, like long shifts, but like
Long shits.
long shifts. But
Saying
you,
shit's weird.
I too take long shits when I'm at work.
yes.
I do not want to go back to set.
Well, yeah, you get paid on company time. We might
Boss
as well.
makes $1, I make a dime. That's
That's
why I
why
poop on company
time.
time.
But it's like the camaraderie that you feel with the other people in your department, just because you're working with the same people.
You're all going through the same hell.
Yeah,
the
like
same...
the months upon months of long shifts and like days, and then switching to nights, and then like you get this little bit of time to yourself like every day, but usually it's like right before you go to sleep, and then you get a bit of your weekends. But for the most part, you're with the same people for like months. And, like, at first, like, you're trying to figure everyone out, but by the end, you know each other so well. And it's just that camaraderie is one of the things I love about the job. Like, the amount of friendships I've made along the way.
Trying to figure it out with my hand.
Of course. But no, that to me is the best part of the job. Is the best part of the job is the friends you make along the way. And also just
That's
being
exactly what I was gonna say, but he took that from me.
but also just the
Just like everything else.
but the amount of stuff that you get to see in this job too. You know?
Hey, Trent.
Because like I've gotten to see some like pretty spectacular things working in this job, and like at the end of the day, like it's long hours, but like you still like you're working on a film set, man.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like that's still cooler than a lot of other stuff I could be doing, like whether it's retail or like what have you. Like I can't see myself not working on sets. So that to me is like the big thing, like that camaraderie of like working with the same people for months at a time. How about yourself, man? I know you said that you were gonna say the
Yeah,
same.
it's to me, it's the people. It's literally the favorite thing is just the people,
Mm.
and it's like it's pretty much exactly the same thing you
Yeah.
said. Like, there's no aspect about the job work wise that I really like. Like, there's no like job where I'm like, oh yeah, picking up garbage, that's my jam. Oh, telling people to be quiet, heck yeah. Like, like there's no specific job where I'm like, yes, this is why I like it. I do feel fulfilled by the end of the day when I come home at night.
100%.
I feel like I've actually accomplished something.
You've done
and
a day's work, and you.
It's not even that I've done a day's work, but I'm contributing to something. There's gonna be a finished product at the end of the day that people can see. People can, like, they don't know the work you did, but you can sit there and say, no, I did work on that thing.
Yeah, I
Whereas
was there on
in-
that day, and I did that thing.
In retail, you can look at the business and be like, yeah, I generated sales for this place, but really it doesn't.
And yet they
Not the
paid
same.
me scraps.
Exactly, and that's where it's like,
They're like
for me, it's kind of the whole shebang of it. Like, it's just everything that goes into it, and like, it's not necessarily just even the friendships, but it's just the little moments, like the little interactions that you do have with people, where like sometimes they are a bit intense and a little like rough, but then you have those moments where everyone's joking around, and how quickly people can shift from like being serious and pissed off to joking and laughing. Like,
Yeah.
it's
it's interesting personality types. That's the biggest thing. Like I've noticed in this job. Like you meet all kinds of different people, and they all kind of have different levels of intensity. And it's also like the other thing that comes along with it is like meeting like I guess like meeting celebrities. I'm not gonna go too much into it, obviously, but it's like you meet certain people and like
You get to hold open a door for them, and they say hello to you.
yes, and then
And then you get to hold doors closed for them.
yes,
Stay quiet as I burn you.
and then
We do not endorse killing celebrities.
no, obviously, but
Trent's not coming back.
but
Probably not.
but it's like, and then you like just randomly like this person you've seen like interviews with that person like in like behind the scenes and stuff like that, and suddenly you're just shooting the shit with them like you're just two regular people like and like even though like their job's up here and your job's down here, at the end of the day you're both just people talking about the thing you enjoy doing, and like that to me is kind of magical at the end of the day, like because they were all just people trying to make something.
Totally. I mean, like, I'll admit, for me personally, when it comes down to being a PA, if I were to be a PA again, and the job I love to do,
What?
You just
I'm happy that you answered for me, so thank you.
oh, and I'm sorry.
Ethan, what do you like about this? Well, what I really like is...
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I'm such a jerk.
It's cool. I got my answer.
but like the family and the camaraderie and all that, and just like joining forces, like you literally do. You become a family. The joke on set is literally, oh, mom and dad, and you got
Yep.
right, or mom and mom, or dad and dad, depending on the team you have, right? And you just sit there.
Stop fighting.
Stop fighting.
And everyone else is like your kids, and when you're done in production, you know they become skilled PAs, and they're skilled, and they go off and they do better and greater things. But you're also like, don't leave me, come back, I want you still. And it's tough to see that happen, but it's also really good because you know that these people are going to do greater and better things. But being a PA, my personal favorite job actually is being away from set and locking up like Circus or the Cube.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, or a gate. I love being away from people, where Ethan likes being near people.
I like being in the thick of it. Like, I don't mind the days. Like,
I
if I'm spending a day in the cube and I have another PA with me that I can talk to, I'll be good. But it's when I'm alone in my car. And that's when you get phone calls, Trent, because I'm bored alone in my car.
That's those days I like, because that's when I'm reading a book or playing a game or something like that.
See, like-
watching
Yeah, but I
Netflix.
never
See, like,
prepare
I-
because I never get the heads up that I'm going to be sent away. It's
You have
halfway
to always
through the
prepared.
Yep. Like as a PA, it's like I usually like 4 days where I'm like on set and around set and seeing what's going on, and then like one day where I get to be off doing like a random job. Unless it's 1 a.m, I'm the only one around in a city block.
CB driving.
Yes,
What about the woods?
the woods wasn't great either, Trent. Yeah, this man decides like I go out to help him like put out some cones for the location we're at the next day.
And I
It's
think you
out
were
in the-
also supposed to guide in catering was the main thing. Catering was coming.
Yeah, like we were out in the middle of the woods, and he's like gives me these traffic codes, and then he says, "All right, I got to go up the road a bit here. Don't get eaten by a werewolf." And I say, "Why would you say that? It's pitch black out here."
The best part about that is he said that about a fictional creature. He could have said a wolf or a bear, and to me that would have been a lot more threatening.
It could happen. You don't know.
To be fair, though, he was like really bothered by the fact of it being a werewolf, and like when I questioned him on it, he's like, "Why do you think I came to the city?
Yeah.
Why do you think I moved away from home?"
Listen, here's a clue. I used to live in the middle of nowhere in the forest, and now I live in the city. Can you guess why?
This still doesn't know. The werewolves aren't an answer to that because they're not real.
Have you ever seen one?
Missing 411.
No!
Missing,
It could be real.
Missing 411. Look it up. Could be. You know.
People believe in other things and they never see them.
Yeah. Mothman.
Moth, Loch Ness monster.
There have been eyewitness accounts.
Oh, we had a whole conversation about cryptids, Ethan.
I know, eyewitness accounts.
Yes, eyewitness accounts. You can't dismiss that.
Exactly. Not of werewolves, though.
Wow.
Wow.
Jesus?
No, people saw Jesus.
Oh, right, yes. I think I was going to say aliens and then went with Jesus for some reason.
We see aliens every day.
They're among us.
Honestly, least favorite job is for the most part being outside when it's cold. I don't care what it is.
So you're not looking forward to the second half of this year, are you?
Not in the slightest.
That's the thing when people
Hey,
like
Trent, we should get on a studio show. Yeah. Who said that? Voices.
that's the
crazy.
thing when when people are like, "Oh, are you gonna try and like, oh, are you gonna try and take summer off?" And it's just like, well, I prefer to take the winter off. Like, oh, why would you want that? It's like, I don't like standing out in the cold.
That's what a lot of people on Heartland used to do. I think it's been different now because we've been so busy. But a lot of people would, like, Heartland used to shoot for like 6 months out of the year. And
Yeah.
they would do that, and then it's like, oh, what are you doing after Heartland? It's like, nothing. I'm taking winter off. I'll see you next summer.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. I'm gonna stay indoors, sleep, and be not cold. So
Nope, 100%.
yeah. So like, there's a merit to it for sure. Like,
I think the worst part is how we kill ourselves though. Sometimes, like, in all honesty, like, I sit there. How many times have you guys heard me after a show and I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm taking some time off. I'm relaxing. And then it's like, hey, Trent, you got a show? Oh, okay, I'll do it. Like,
yeah. Like, there's definitely like a danger of burning yourself out, but like at the end of the day, like,
it's addictive.
Yeah.
It's addictive. Like, and it's not even the money. It's just, again, I think it's the addictive. It's being around those people and making those friendships and being with everyone in the shit.
Yep. And
you
like
just,
the laughs you share, like that's the like.
Well, and you get the stories. You get so good stories, right?
That's the thing. Like I said, you gotta be a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Talking about like trapping people in buildings, I actually did that once. I don't know if I ever told you guys.
Trapping people in buildings.
Yeah. We were having some issues. We were shooting at Seal Ranch, and we were having some issues with people leaving during the take when they call rolling, and it was causing the atmos in the building to dissipate too quickly. So they ended up putting a PA by the door, and the PA by the door was like trying to be played, like, stay inside, we're rolling, please wait, stop, don't come out, sort of thing, and like trying to say like, enough. And she came up to me and she's like, I'm getting too stressed out, like I'm going to blow a gasket, can you take over the door? And I said, yeah, sure, no problem. And she's like, yeah, you got to make sure they don't come out while rolling. And I went, I'm on it. And I went by the door, and I had it open and let people in and out constantly, and then went, okay, we're going to fill it up with Atmos. Can locations lock it up? And I shut that door, and I kept my hand on it, and I just kept it closed. And then people tried to get out, and they were trying to push the door, and like they called rolling, and they're trying to get out, and the door's doing this, and it's shaking, and I'm like, shh, we're rolling, shh, shh, as I'm keeping this door shut. And finally,
It sounds like you're like strangling something, like shh.
essentially, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm holding it shut. And then finally, I like got fed up with it because like they're really trying, they're shaking this door, they're twisting the handle, I'm trying to prevent them. And I finally get sick, and I just let the door open, and I look at the guy, and he's a great guy from special effects who should know better because he's the one putting the Atmos in, and I'm like, dude, we're fucking rolling. The look he gave me was just this, why the hell were you locking me inside? And then he ends up leaving, going to do what he needs to do, and I turn around, and there was a fucking, I think she was set dressing on this one, and she had a water bottle, and as I turn around, she just sprayed me right in the face with water, like for no reason, just went, shh, and I'm like, what the hell? And she's like, sorry, I was trying to get him. And I'm like, fuck.
Amazing.
Oh, you gotta get those good stories going. You gotta have the good on-set stories.
100%.
The going up to your truck and banging on the heater, trying to get it going so you're not freezing while it's minus 30 outside. The having a PA run like a bat out of hell around a corner.
No, down the street. She was down on the other side of the street. I'm like, can't see what's chasing her. Nothing was chasing her, but I didn't know that. I thought we were in trouble.
What would you have done though?
Run
Got in my car and drove away, yeah.
Okay. left her on her own.
No, we were
Get the
parked
hell
beside
out.
each other. I would have made sure we got to our cars and booked it out of there.
Get the hell out.
Goofing up while yelling, rolling, and cut. Crew parking's
Crew park.
up.
Crew park. Color crew park.
Stand by.
Yeah, man.
Rolling.
No, my person is roll. That has happened to me a couple times. Just like just start coughing in the middle of saying rolling, and there'll be someone standing there, be like, "Oh my god!"
Or
On that,
the best is when you start laughing. When you start laughing at something, and then you have to try and call standby and rolling.
Man, this goof here, like he'll be on set sometimes, and like,
oh, I'm terrible.
yeah, we'll just start talking about the most random shit, and we'll start like giggling to ourselves, and it'll be rolling, and we're trying not to make noise, but it's like that, like you're internalizing your laughter and trying so hard not to laugh.
And we're not even good for each other because we'll be sitting there texting each other still
Yeah.
too, like stupid stuff.
All the group chats, man.
Yep, just like texting each other while it's just it's like, oh.
I'm so witty.
Yeah, like it's just
being
the dumbest stuff, but it's so funny.
Because you're tired, you're exhausted.
Yep. So like these like random things will just make you giggle
part of
when
why-
you're not supposed to giggle.
That's why I started the Lame Joke Friday was all about morale and helping people out, because when you're doing a Friday Saturday shoot and you're just doing that, you gotta have something helping. So just
If you throw
doing
out less
lame
Al.
jokes.
You thought about less Al.
That's all?
Yeah, instead of more Al.
Boo!
Lame joke.
Oh, of course.
But like, what? Oh, speaking of rollings though, and like messing up rollings, on that same shoot when I was holding people in, we on locations were just having a hard time keeping people quiet too. So instead of calling rolling and cut, we just started to be like, you'd hear the AD be like, "Hey, we're rolling on locations." Like the 3 or 4 of us who were there would just be like, "Ah!" And it would like, what was that? Like, okay, whatever, rolling. Okay, now we cut. Ah! Like, just
There's a coyote in here.
Screaming goats?
Oh my god. Yeah, screaming goats. Yeah, no. Like that's definitely a thing where it's just like there's people who it's like they should know better. They're like professionals, and there's just like they'll just talk, and it's just like we're rolling, and they look at you like you're crazy, and it's just, it's like I know. It's like it's like it's fine. At the end of the day, it gets done, and it's fine.
it does get done. But again, like I said, if we built the backlots and if we weren't shooting on locations and if we were doing that, we wouldn't have jobs. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing.
100%, man. No, exactly. Does anybody have a question of the day?
Ethan's like, I'm gonna go to bed.
That's fair.
Speaking of work, and I gotta be up at 5 in the morning.
Oh my god.
So I shower.
Still gotta shower. But
Oh, fair enough.
What's your favorite snack from Crafty?
Grapes.
Grapes and Coke Zero.
Grapes and a Coke Zero. That's how I get through the day.
because you're the rapist.
No. I'm not like
He's the duck.
yeah. I'm a duck.
Got any grapes? And he waddled away.
And then he waddled.
You do kind of waddle.
I have a particular walk.
You do. We can recognize you from across the studio.
I have a
You
swagger.
can honestly, all 3 of us, you can recognize across the studio. Like,
No one sees me.
Well, Trent, it's because when you walk, our water shakes like
Like a
Jurassic
Tyrannosaurus
Park.
I thought you were going to talk about like when I walk, just like the airflow around me just pushes things
No,
away.
yeah, it's like in 2014 Godzilla when like he starts going up on shore and like causes the tidal wave. So the air pressure changes whenever you walk in the room.
Ah, my ears are popping.
Oh god,
Why am I suddenly getting drawn in?
there's an afro over top of that set. It's walking this way. No, it's I guess we kind of touched on it before, but it's just like what are your favorite film locations? It could be a house from one of your favorite movies, could be just like city block, like all that kind of stuff. Like
What are my favorite film locations?
not. It's a.
We literally asked that question earlier.
Did we?
Well, that was sort of what it was. Was like,
I guess, yeah, like-
what movie would you like, and what was your favorite? Right?
Oh man,
So, like,
I goofed. I goofed
you
hard.
goofed, yeah. I mean, going off, thinking off of it, thinking about locations and shit like that for question of the day. Here's the question. I wonder if it'll work or not. What with locations do you think it is as important or not?
That's a philosophical question.
A little bit, but like you guys have both worked in the industry. I'm working in it still, but so talking about it in a sense, we just talked about locations and across the board as PAs, as the scouting, as being out, is being at a location important or not? Do you think that we should go to a
like
studio?
working on location as opposed to
Like the department as a whole, because again, if we worked only on studio, the job of a location PA would go away. We'd become set PAs at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
We'd be with the ADs.
I think it is. I think it is important. Like I think it's like at the end of the day, there is nothing more real than real, and like I know the business of like making movies and TV is like presenting, not necessarily always presenting reality, but like you can always tell. You always kind of can tell when something's like real and when it's not. You know, like it'll have that certain feel, and oftentimes as well, like when you're working on a location, it really does make you start to prioritize things and really makes you like think about like exactly what you need to tell your story, because you don't have all the time in the world, you don't have all the control. So like, what do we need to get from this location, what's important, and what can we get before we have to leave?
But then you're talking about the reality of it, but at the end of the day, you can just build it on set and it'll look pretty damn real.
And that's where I think my answer is the biggest cop-out answer. Because it depends on the shoot. It depends on the film.
Mm-hmm.
Because some films, you need to rely on that realism. And that being in the actual location. And other times, you don't. Like, it really depends. And it's going to vary from movie to TV show. From project to project. It's going to depend. And so, like, some shows, you don't need a big locations team. Other shows, you need 30 locations PAs. And sometimes that varies from day to day. Some days you need 6 of us. Sometimes you need 21 of us. And it all depends.
Pilots.
Exactly. It all depends on what's happening and what's going on at the time. And that's where, like, I don't think there is a solid answer one way or the other. I think it's important. Sometimes it's really important to have locations, and sometimes it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're always going to have some form of locations.
Absolutely.
Like, there will always be some form of it, whether or not it's in the same size, I think. But yeah.
How it evolves, yeah. Yeah.
I think we should just go on studios.
Now until the end of time.
Well, with projections and where the way that's headed, again, you'd have your locations team would kind of change, because your locations team would be going out getting footage of projections.
Nope.
Not even?
Camera. Because it has to be shot properly, it has to be lit properly, it'd still be a camera job.
When you still need locations to go out and manage those locations to make sure there's not stuff being parked there.
You may
Find
need
the locations.
A manager, like one person. The team would become a lot smaller.
Scouts.
Yep. But locations would still be around.
It'd still be around. It would just be like a location manager and maybe one other person. Like, it'd become a lot smaller. The reason I say studios, and not that I don't love my job and what I'm doing and stuff like that, but I think it just comes down to a level of, in a sense, stress and BS and things like you're talking about, having a big lot with houses and things like that and being able to do what you do. If you have that complete control, yeah, it makes the team last, but location still needs to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like
Someone's got to change out them garbages.
Someone's got to change out those garbages, and it's just going to be a lot easier and not as stressful, and you're just going to have, I think, a better team, and I think you'll have a lot of more opportunity for PAs to come on and not be in necessarily a PA position for locations, be like, I'm locking up the road, but rather, hey, I need a set PA. come help us out with the ADs and be close to the actors and the action and things
Right.
like that, right? And I think it
Okay.
would be more beneficial that way around. So
Yeah.
as much as I don't want locations to go anywhere, and that's the biggest fear, is like, oh, well, if we get a studio, then our job's gone, and I would be out of work too. But at the same time, it's like, I see the benefit.
Oh, 100%, man. It's all relative, I think. But yeah. But this I think concludes another wonderful and I completely
It's been a good late night episode of A Feast of Films.
I don't know why you two are so tired. Like, I'm like, woo!
It's because you're a maniac.
Unfortunately, I am. I also slept pretty good today. Like,
Oh, yeah,
you
you
also
took a
have
nap.
you also have
Yeah.
kids, and you're used to like not sleeping at all.
I'm used to dealing with a lot of immaturity throughout the day.
Yes. But no, this has been a very educational episode of A Feast of Films. Trent, where could people find you on the social medias?
Oh, I forgot that was a thing.
Yes.
Nowhere.
Literally, the only where you can find me is Instagram at beware_the_AD.
Yep. Sounds good. Ethan, where can people find you?
You can find me at Ethan R. Hill on Instagram. You can find me at Ethan R. Hill on YouTube. And you can also find mine and Jesse's feature film, Damned Rights, on realhouse.org. You can buy it, rent it, download it, or stream it.
Awesome. And then you can find me at ThatJProsser on my Instagram. You can find my YouTube channel, Jesse Prosser. And then, of course, our feature film, Dan Wrights, where Ethan said before.
We can also find you lounging in your bed sometimes, or texting.
Yes.
Who are you texting? Everyone you know is here.
That's actually the weirdest part, is when he sits there, he's like, woo, and it's like,
Talking to my mom, talking to my mom.
No, I read articles
Hi, Mom.
and stuff.
the one photo I have, you are thumbs at it. You are texting someone like a giddy.
like a giddy
A
giddy
giddy, a giddy,
giddy.
you're giddy, giddy.
Giddy kitty.
Who's to say?
You
Yes. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
have a good week. We'll see y'all next time.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Yes. Thanks for coming on, Trent. We highly appreciate you have.
Yeah, I know. I sleep with you guys.
No, that's
Good night, everybody.
so. We can't continue.